I am Jean-Charles Bourquin, Kalki, the 10th Lila Avatara of Vishnu. I inform you that a lot of crop circles are made by two extraterrestrial belligerent groups with unknown technologies which impair the plants and kill the insects and other animals. The group, which is conducted by Jesus Omega, whose soul has been the one of Jesus, is extremely dangerous.
Welcome to another episode of Truth Jihad Radio, an episode that we're going to call a Weird Wednesday. Now that's weird with an E. That's right, another E on the end of the word weird, because, well, that was my pseudonym back in the day, long before I was a famous radical Muslim conspiracy theorist. I wrote a book called Dr. Weird's Weird Tours, a guide to mysterious San Francisco. It was probably the first weird tour guide, and there have been a whole bunch since then to various places. Well, this was a guide to San Francisco. It took you to all the strange spots where odd historical events had occurred. You know, everything from allegedly mystical teleportation to other dimensions places to, you know, the Charlie Manson's house, Jefferson Airplane's house, where Allen Ginsberg took peyote and came up with the poem Howl, things like that. And it's actually a pretty darn good book. And it's now selling on Amazon. The good copies could cost you well into the hundreds of dollars. Anyway, in that book, I treated a lot of, you know, offbeat topics, even more offbeat than the stuff I normally do on this radio show. And we're going to get into a little more offbeat stuff today. And that doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't mean that it's not scholarly, because, well, in the second hour, we're bringing on David Jacobs. He is the director of the International Center of Abduction Research, and he's sounding the alarm that Earthlings are being kidnapped, genetically robbed, and ultimately probably replaced by some extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional species, that these UFO abductions that you hear about are not just folklore, it's really true. Welcome back to Truth Jihad Radio. Today, we're taking on somewhat more esoteric topics than usual, which is saying something for this show, because I am always trying to bring you the most important information I can find that isn't being sufficiently attended to in the corporate-controlled mainstream media, or even much of the allegedly alternative media. And, well, you know, how do you figure out which topics should be covered? One way to do it is to look at a controversy and decide, well, you know, how likely is this to be true, and how important would it be if it were true? Okay, so you take the JFK assassination conspiracy, for example. If the CIA really did that, and we've had confessions from everybody from Johnson's mistress to Howard Hunt that, yes, they did, you know, that we have solid evidence that it's true, and solid evidence that it would be really, really important if it were true, and so, hey, that's a very important thing to talk about. Now, how about the UFO phenomenon? I think the evidence is overwhelming that something very odd is going on. I studied this when I was working in folklore. My PhD minor is in folklore. And I quickly concluded that this wasn't just some crazy popular kind of diversion, but there was something strange going on. And one of the people I read back in the day was Dr. David Michael Jacobs. He's the author of a doctoral dissertation published at the University of Wisconsin-Madison on UFOs. And the version I read was a book version published by Indiana University Press. Well, I guess the fact that something fishy is going on with UFOs is extremely important and absolutely true. So we need to talk about this subject seriously and intelligently.
They kill a lot of cattle. They abduct a lot of humans. They harass some humans. They are invading the earth.
Of 3 calves that have that occurred overnight.
The opposite group is ambiguous. They defend the earth and they are dishonest and sometimes aggressive. They try to dominate. Both groups of extraterrestrials are personae non grata for the earth. Some governments, United Kingdom, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, United States of America, Vatican, France, etc., are well informed by me about this Cold War. An excellent thing to do for the defense is to harvest the crop circles in order that the communication between the extraterrestrials and the humans of the earth are very bothered. I think that you shouldn't feed the humans and other animals with the plants of the crop circles as a precaution.